All right, I think we're ready to go. Visit Thunderdome, Sylvania here. We've got Joe D'Amelio, Anduin, Kenshin Trek, and Christmas all battling out in Super Castlevania 4 any percent.
Hey,
And
everyone.
we
Hello, hello.
are
It's me.
about to start. I think Kenshin, we're just about ready to start up here. We haven't quite started yet. And we are going to battle it out all the way to the end of Dracula. So if our runners are ready, we will start up here.
Do I need to reset?
Yeah, we haven't started yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just watch
I was
this
already.
time and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Question. Sorry. That was a big miscommunication.
No problem. Yeah, so in any percent, we are going to try and defeat Dracula as quick as possible. Runners are going to start here in about T-minus 20 seconds.
Let's go. Good luck, everybody.
All right, here we go.
So we are going to see some top level strats, and it's nice that we have 4 people here because top level strats are very, very risky in this game.
You might have started a hair too early, but
Whoa!
I think
It's okay.
DQ. Get this guy
those
out
are
of
some of my
race.
pro strats right there.
So this is something that you'll notice from the Castlevania 4 community. We always like to do races. It's one of the most fun racing games, I think. 30 minutes is a good time. It really lets the skill show through, even with some minor mistakes and hiccups along the way. You're going to see runners doing a whole bunch of damage boosts, just getting their way through the stage as quick as they can. Simon moves at a certain speed when he walks, but if you get boosted forward, you're actually traveling at a speed faster than Simon is able to walk. Whips and crosses will stick you to the ground and stop your forward momentum, so most of those inputs are going to be made in the air. And we're looking to see if anyone is going to go for the 1-2 clip.
Not me.
Bit risky in a race.
Nah.
It doesn't mean that you die and have to go back to the previous checkpoint. It saves a good chunk of time, especially once you get yourselves into the low 32s, aiming for 31s.
Oh, he's going.
I am surprised that Joe didn't go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This game is great for racing because there's a lot of different ways that you can approach it. You could just brute force and hope that your strats will carry you through, rely on your practice. Or you can take things a little bit safer and hedge your bets to make sure that maybe your opponent will go for something a little more risky. And you can pull ahead.
That used to be my strat years ago. It no longer works.
There you go. Yep. So with stage 1, the boss, just like about every boss in this game, is going to disappear very quickly thanks to the power of overlaying crosses. You can get quite a few pips of damage per tick when you layer those crosses on top, and the bosses just disappear. The next boss will do the exact same thing. Everyone's looking
manhandled.
to avoid the purple hands.
Oh,
There was
the
some
worst
chat in the
part.
Discord about the purple hands earlier,
Yes.
and there Looks like we've got word that Joe got the stage 3 zip. He's letting us know through text message. So our runners are attacking the sunken city here. And overall looking pretty good. Everyone's quite close to each other. Looks like Christmas here is just a smidge ahead. Actually, yeah, her and Anwin are very, very close. Everyone's on the same screen for a very short period of time here. And the boss of stage 3 is going to be, again, like all the other bosses in this game, not quite a boss. Timing your crosses just right. And a few good whips, and this boss just disappears. It's always a little scary when you have 1 health, but this boss moves the exact same every time. Okay, so we're coming up to stage 4. Stage 4 has a lot going on. We have 2 bosses, we have the zip, and there's actually multiple ways to approach the zip. The new stage 3 zip that I was talking about earlier, utilizing the camera, is something that we might see from Christmas, because I know that's the zip she's most practiced on right now. And Simon is able to put himself in a spot where there should be a block, but it hasn't loaded in yet, by jumping past where the camera is showing. And it's actually a pretty simple trick in theory, but in execution it's very, very tight. The camera will only start moving once you've actually touched the ground, but if you jump on the first frame, the game doesn't realize that you touched the ground yet. And so you can use that to your advantage. The runners have to wait a little bit of time in this rotating room. There's actually multiple rotating rooms. It's a bit of a, stage 7 show off. Seeing some Superman strats from some players, some bottom strats from some other players. The washing machine room is quite interesting too, because as long as you're holding right for the whole time, or at least most of the whole time, you have a little bit of leeway. The skeletons dropping from the ceiling are always going to spawn at the same spots, but if you were to take a boost backwards, then things will not work out as well as you hope. And there's so much lag in this room because there's no actual platforms. All the platforms are sprites. Plus the mode 7, it's a little hard. You know, maybe we should try and overclock a Super Nintendo to get it to run a little bit quicker. Yeah, this looks great. Nice. Definitely seeing a couple zips here. And a few different styles of zips too. Anduin got the more traditional zip, the one that people have been doing for quite a few years. And I guess the Richter zip has been around for a few years at this point. But it's gotten to a consistency level where a lot of people are able to pull it off now. And so the boss Coronat, or Ton of Rock backwards, you just kill him, and the pieces fall off, and he gets smaller and smaller, and then he's dead. Thanks to the crosses. This boss is actually very random, in the sense that depending on the moves that he chooses to do at the very beginning of the fight, you're sometimes able to get a few extra pips of damage in on him. Because when he throws his block, he'll stand in place, and he won't shrink quite so quickly, so a lot of your stuff is going to hit him more often than not. Everyone loves Stage 5. Stage 5 is quite entertaining for anyone who runs this game. You could be playing perfect. Have a perfect Stage 1, get your zip, both bosses in Stage 4, and then, oh, there's a harpy in your face. That's really not that fun. Especially when you're green or even gold coming into the stage. So let's hope that none of our runners have too much trouble. Doesn't look like things are going too poorly with the harpies. And then the second half of Stage 5 is pretty much a joke. You got some boosts at the start. If you're a little low on health, the boost can be a little scary, but not too bad. So Stage 6 has quite a few notable strats. We've got one cycle chandelier, which the runners will be attempting very, very quickly. It can be very scary, but luckily the one cycle chandelier is a little more solved than it has been in the past. Really, you just need to be able to get to the last chandelier on time, and the first couple jumps are tight. But there's one where the music hits, which is really important to get. It's like Christmas is probably taking it safe, and Anduin might be getting it. Not quite. Yeah, we're going to see a 2 or 3 cycle here for most runners. I can't really blame them. This is one of the worst deaths in the game. Probably only beaten by a death to Zafbat in Stage 9. In terms of racing, is you lose your cross, you don't have it for the first screen. Then you have to go all the way through again, and then you have to go down to the secret to pick up your cross. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier with different race strategies, where if you're very confident in your one cycle and you're hitting it 95 times out of 100, it's probably worthwhile to go for in a race. But there's still that risk-reward analysis you have to do. Are you willing to lose a minute and a half in a race? The other tricks in Stage 6 are just making it through the Skeleton Hellway, which our runners are coming up to. Just 2 very long rooms with a lot of skellies. As long as you time your crosses, it really does help you through. if you're playing any other categories where you don't have the luxury of a cross, the Skeleton Hellway can be quite daunting to attack. In the second to final room, which is coming up here soon, you're going to see a Ring of Coffins. And the Ring of Coffins is one of the more frustrating tricks to try and bring into your run. It's maddeningly inconsistent. If you move or jump a frame too early or a frame late, it might just not work on you. You're looking to kill 2 coffins and take 1 or 2 boosts forward to make your way through. And it's just every time you go for it, man. When you're on pace, it won't work, but when you're behind, you're going to hit it every time. It's almost like the Lost Belmont, Murphy Belmont. In the last room, you just got to watch out for some dancers before you take on the final dancers, which shouldn't be too much trouble for any of these runners. Another boss that just disappears and melts away. So yeah, it seems like Anduin and Chris are pretty much tied up. Heading into stage 8, and Anduin is, Kenshin Trek is not too far behind. Oof. I'm not sure exactly where the delay is lining up, but that could be commentator's curse. Luckily, you don't lose too much of your progress. The checkpoint's right there, but not having the cross for the boss will cost a little bit of time as well. Luckily, I know Kenshin is very well versed in whip-only bosses, so there shouldn't be too much trouble for him. Okay, so in stage 7, Anduin seems to be having a pretty okay time making it through 7-1. I know it's his least favorite part of the entire game. It doesn't matter the category, 7-1 is just going to give Anduin a hard time. We've got book jumps coming up. And the book jump is a tough one. It seems like you've got a pretty big window, and the truth of the matter is you do have about 6 or 7 frames to make the book jump. But there's also a bit of input proficiency involved with like pressing jump and forward at the same time. Otherwise, you'll walk off, or if you press jump and then forward, you don't get enough of a movement to the right, and you'll just miss the platform. You saw Christmas do that. So Anduin is pretty solidly in the lead. A lot of damage boosts, but there's enough meat in the stage that we should be able to pick up whatever we need. Another boss. Another destruction with crosses. Sometimes you might get in and get a poke or 2, but you should have at least 3 to 5 health for this boss with your health root. So it looks like Kenshin also took a death on the book jump. Anduin coming into stage 8, so if you like instant kill, one-touch spikes that kill you when you touch the smooth side, stage 8 is the stage for you. You're going to see a lot of well-timed crosses to make it through this first screen, and there's actually a sort of hidden cycle which our runners are trying to make to time things to get a jump underneath the spike platform here, which Anduin did a test jump, but it's a very risky strat. I don't think he's going to go for it. See Christmas coming out of stage 7 now. Scary Gracul, but made it through. Kenshin is not very far behind. So a couple other tricks in stage 8. It's mainly just boosting through enemies and spikes so that they don't kill you. And then we have everyone's favorite disappearing, reappearing Vegas Bridge. So Vegas Bridge, it's another one of those things in this game where if you're holding right as you come up to it, the variance in the patterns are not quite so hard to deal with. So we want to be able to get underneath these moving spikes as best we can, and using some whip buffers, it really helps to set up the timing. You still need to be vigilant and pay attention. But it basically boils down to spawning as many platforms onto the screen as close together as you can to make things a little bit more consistent. Alright, so our runners have spaced out. We have Anduin well in the lead, Christmas about halfway through stage 8, and Kenshin just coming up to the beginning of stage 8 now. I know Kenshin gets a little bit daunted by a few of the boosts in the first screen of 8.1, especially where you're using the eyeball to boost through a bunch of the moving spike platforms. And it's something that even the best of runners will die to. So in a race situation, we might see that being skipped. See if Christmas actually goes for the Vegas Bridge. Or she'll take that safe as well. She's going for it. So, man, that execution was perfect. After getting the boost, and if you notice when she's jumping across the Vegas Bridge, she's aiming for the in-between of each of the platforms. So there's one in the front and one on the back that allow her to catch her tiptoe or heel. And even if one disappears on her, the other one should be there to hopefully rely on. It really helps to make that situation a lot safer. Stage 9, it's really just ramping up the punishment for mistakes. There's going to be a lot more pits that you can fall into, a lot more enemies that'll push you into those pits, and everyone's favorite, big piles of gold. Actually quite the short stage once you make it through. It seems like a long one, but there's not too much that you need to do. Just a few boosts, and then you're at the boss. Now this boss is very, very tricky for stage 9. It's something that even the best runners might have trouble getting all 22 hits early. There's something called a whip cancel. There's two types, where a horizontal whip has slightly different mechanics than any of the directional whips other than horizontal. And so if you whip up and let go of up and whip, it will cancel your whip quite quickly, and you can actually whip faster than if you were just mashing the button and holding up. So ideally want to get 22 whips in and kill the bat before you even take a hit. But if you miss the first cycle, like we're seeing here, then you're just going to have to deal with the bat being a little bit higher or lower than is ideal. Because really you want to kill the bat in the first cycle to where you can have your crosses just overlay on top of it. For a short period here, all of our runners are still in stage 9. Everyone is built back up to the cross. That's really the biggest time loss for deaths in an 80% race, because everyone else is able to kill enemies so efficiently, and you're stuck with extra inputs, getting stuck to the ground, throwing your whip. So I hope you like good music, because the rest of this game has some of the best. I know Bloody Tears is quite a fan favorite. It's one of my top favorites for sure in this game. Now, we have a cool few strats in stage A. I think the Anduin's going to skip it here, where you can kill the enemy as you scroll one of the gears on screen, and it'll despawn some of the... Did you get Joe back? Yeah. It'll despawn some of the teeth of the gear. Yeah, Anduin's face cam definitely caught that. Yeah, the jump after making it through the moving gear is quite tight. So oftentimes you might find yourself not jumping soon enough and just walking off the edge of the platform. Stage A, it's really just ramping up the difficulty even more. In stage 9, you had more pits, more enemies to throw you into the pits. Stage A just ramps it up to a whole other level. You're very susceptible to knockbacks when you're traveling on rings. Looks like Kenshin's cleaning up at the end of stage 9, and he'll be making his way into stage A very soon. Anduin still has a nice lead, but Chris has what it takes to sneak up behind, and yeah, she's gonna do some of the more risky strats. Try and get up the clock tower just a little bit quicker. So on Akmadon, we're really hoping for no middle spawns. Anduin got the worst of the middle spawns, a middle bandage. Yeah, Chris is turning up the heat, but she's also getting middle spawns. I think Christmas did a really good job closing the lead. I mean, Anduin did take that death. He only has the double. That's what I was missing. He only has the double. He hasn't built up to the triple again. So yeah, these two are pretty much heading into stage B. Almost same time. About 10 seconds or so separating them. And Joe's going to be able to even out the inventory issues here. Get his triple on the bat bridge. Yeah, Kenshin's not too far behind. He's still got to make his way through stage A. And there are some very dangerous sections. Yeah, he's going to take it safe too. So, Anduin is heading into the very last screen of platforming in this game. Unless you account for Track Secret. There's a lot of tight jumps. The stairs will just disappear on you. And there's one jump where it is possible to not be able to make it back up. Just because the game decided that you're going to fall through the stairs. I'm sure most people have experienced that on casual playthroughs. It's a little bit easier to mitigate with proper movement because it's 1 in every 4 pixels. Kenshin's getting some nasty bandage. Lucky 2. Akmadon. So the finale, pardon me, of stage B is the Den of Close Associates. Konami was always really big on boss rush back in the day. And it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Although starting off with Jerkbird. Something that was found a little bit more recently about Slogger is in the earlier phases where he still has his weapon, he's much less likely to dash you when you have less health than him. So you'll often see runners actually entering into Slogger with less health than you think is safe, but you're actually making the fight a little bit safer. So next up in the boss rush is Gaibon, and this is a boss that's not really much of a boss. As long as you know how to toss the cross, the boss is not going to last long. The same thing goes with death as well, but the timing on the death crosses very, very tight. And there's another little trick that you can do at the very end of the Dracula fight, or sorry, the death fight, where you can jump to the left just at the moment where the game takes control of you. Yeah, Christmas is really closing this gap. I think it was like 10 seconds before, but now it feels like less, but no, still had his death animation there. It's really going to come down to Drac RNG. So Dracula, every 4 spawns, he spawns on top of you, but every other spawn other than that is going to be in a random position. You really don't want him too close to either of the edges, because that's going to minimize the impact of your crosses you're throwing. A good gauge to have when you're fighting against Dracula is you really want to do a minimum of 3 pips of damage per cycle. That is going to guarantee you to get your 6th cycle, but you could still get unlucky with the way that the hits come in, and it might end up being a 7 or 8 cycle. I believe the quickest that you can get without being an absolute task machine is a 5 cycle. I think 4 is possible by tassing, but that's quite insane, and you're going to be manipulating luck too. Be tight. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this, actually. I have to see if people are paying attention to the times or not. Wow. Wow, this is very close. Who's it going to be? I think that was Anlin by like half a second? Yeah. Oh man. 33.57 and a 33.58. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Let's see if I can drag these guys up into the final voice chat here. GG, guys. That was insane.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Darn that ring over the pit in stage A, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, which was it? Book jump, right? Book jump. That was on.
Oh yeah, was that your only death in the book jump?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was book jump, and yeah, I didn't go back for the cross. Like,
okay.
Usually the strat is to go, just explain, like, we're all live on air, but usually the strat would be to go back to the first screen in stage 7 to grab the cross so you can build it up. Because you don't get another cross until the second screen in E8, so
right.
I opted not to. So.
I know. And I mean, unless you got your whip only strats down, it's yeah.
Yeah, you really turned on the heat there at the end of stage A.
Yeah, I was not going to go for that fast ring, but I was just like, let's go for it. Let's do it. And I regret it now. For a while there, I was actually, I think, on legit pace, PB pace. Yeah,
You said
after
you got a
stage
gold
7,
in
I was a
7.
negative 0.2.
You said you got a gold in 7, right?
Right, yep.
Oh, you got a gold there, Andon? I didn't even notice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a gold on stage 7, yep.
Yeah, I was actually telling chat that 7-1 is your least favorite part of the game because it always gets you when you're on pace.
It really does. It's been a thorn in my side for a while now. That and the second screen of stage A, as you could probably tell. So I just killed everything in the second screen of A just to get rid of it.
Yeah, like your guys' credits are actually playing out like in sequence right now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
funny because the last time me and Christmas had a race together, our 1v1 race, we were almost in sync the whole way, and here we are like within seconds of each other this time. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Was it just great?
No.
I expected to do much worse than this. No.
GG Kenshin Trek.
Thank you very much. This was kind of a bumpy run, but it's okay. It was fun. The idea is to have fun.
Yeah, at least your stream didn't crash.
Right.
At least.
Or Joe, because we had Joe running audio for the whole stream too, so we kind of had to pivot a little. I think it was just me on the restream for the last part of the race there.
Oh.
Is it,
quite unfortunate.
Is Joe still playing? I know his computer.
I see him there now.
Yeah, I think he's just playing through alongside us anyway. But yeah, his computer crashed. I don't think he's in the race anymore. But
by the way, the race room in race time is still running.
Oh yeah, I'll let him know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very, very close. That was awesome. I love to see a good close race. It happens every Sunday. We do some weekly races. If anyone is interested, all skill levels are welcome.
Yeah, if you are a new runner or a veteran runner at this game, we'd love to have you race with us on the weekly race on Sundays. Yeah, feel free to join up. It's really casual and it's always a good time.
The community is really nice and we always welcome everybody. So it's a nice time for all of us. So everybody's welcome. Come and join us so you will have a good time.
Yeah, the community is really great. We're always super helpful. If like you're want to learn the game or you're interested in the game, everybody's willing to help out and help you along the way. And we have a wiki too, CastlevaniaSpeedruns.com.
Awesome. Well, I think we should let Kenshin go get prepared for his next run because he's going to be back with me helping on commentary, and he's going to be running Dracula X for us.
Good luck.
This is going to be my revenge. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Trek. Good luck. Thank you for the race.
Thanks to you guys. It was really nice having you in the race. Really fun. I hope you will enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.